Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Why you agree? Good Sunday afternoon, folks. How's everyone doing? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Like it. All right, how's everyone doing? Whoa. Get yourself a dog if you don't have one already. Look at that. Why you oh, ham, bro? My dogs are so cute. It's like ridiculous. Just googly eyes. Smack it. Yarman. Oh, you know I love you. I love you. Yeah, what's going on? What's going on Twitter? Aside and the Israeli regime breaking the ceasefire, which I saw. Blocking aid from getting into Gaza, which of course they're lying, and of course they're of course they're lying, and of course they're pretending that they're not breaking it, and of course they're pretending that they haven't invaded the occupied West Bank. I'm good. I'm just tired from yesterday. I know. My dogs are so cute. It's kind of absurd. I'm okay. My teeth are hurting. My jaw's hurting. Yeah, they're rolling in the takes. Yeah, I don't really feel so great today. Yeah, I'm not feeling so great today, but my jaw's hurting today, and I have been wearing a mouth guard at night, like one of those cheap ones you can get offline. I have been man. I've been wearing a mouth guard, and I think I forgot to put it back in last night, and that just makes my jaw hurt worse. No, I'm not going to get Botox in my masseter because people say that it doesn't actually do much. No, the problem is I actually need to fix my teeth. I know why I have the TMJ. Have you looked into? Yes, I have looked into it, but when I look at the places in Mexico, all of them are just for aesthetic dentistry. You know what I mean? All of them so far that I've seen, isn't this cute? All of them so far that I've seen have just been for aesthetic dentistry. I need more than aesthetic my teeth are actually in pain. I actually need real work done on them. And they keep shifting. Ugh, I hate the NYU dental school. Although I shouldn't say that. It's a long wait, but I did go there. I went to the NYU dental school to have my front teeth fixed when I broke them off. I broke these two front teeth off. And yeah, I did. I had them fixed at the New York Dental School. You'll wait 975 years for it, but Yeah. This tooth right here keeps getting pushed further and further back. And then my teeth keep shifting, and then it just hurts more. And I still have my wisdom teeth in. It's just a mess. It's a mess. It's not something that maybe there is someone in Mexico that can help. I don't know. If you happen to be watching this and you know of a place in Mexico that actually does restorative dental work, send it to me. Hit me up. But yeah, as far as I've looked, it's mostly just been aesthetic dentistry, veneers and shit, which is great. Aesthetic dentistry is awesome, but I need more than that. I actually need my teeth fixed. They're actually in pain. And my crown is still broken. My wisdom teeth are still in. I never had braces. And so like my jawline is not aligned. My jaw's not aligned. When I should have had braces. Yeah, it just sucks. It sucks. I wish that there was a way to have my teeth fixed, like my jaw alignment fixed without having to get surgery. But everybody I've asked, oh, that just hurt when I moved my eyes when I went. But everybody I've asked has told me that everyone I've asked has just told me that in order to fix like my jaw misalignment, which is a cause of a lot of the pain that I'm in, which is like jaw misalignment, a lot of people have said that like the only way to fix that is through having surgery, like jaw surgery, which I don't want to do. I don't want to do. See, I haven't heard that. Someone said China is popular for medical tourism. I've not heard that. What I hear consistently is Mexico and Turkey is what I hear consistently for medical tourism. I just wish that there was a way to get your jaw alignment fixed without having to have surgery. Because I don't want to have surgery for that. And also I've heard that it's a very invasive surgery and that the recovery time is like months, like 6 months. Hello everybody. Yeah, I see a lot of people on YouTube. Go to Twitch. Go to Twitch. Go to Twitch. Just to let everybody know, the end of this stream will be done on Rumble. Doing the first, right now my schedule is, and this is subject to change, but right now my schedule is the first 2 hours are on all the platforms, and then the last hour is on Rumble. Hello from Brooklyn. Hey, yeah. Yeah, did you guys see? Actually, you know what? You probably didn't see it because I don't think that I have a lot of crossover. I think that like it's actually very hard to become it's very hard to become, yes, thank you. It's very hard to become a to switch or to move over your following. So like a lot of people that follow me on YouTube and on Twitch, they don't follow me on TikTok or Instagram. So you probably didn't see it if you're on this stream right now because I posted it on TikTok, but I actually went to a Puerto Rican business, a small business, of this video that had gone viral of this woman saying that, you know, her lease was almost up and like she was barely able to afford it and how hard it is to start a small business in Brooklyn. And yeah, so I went there to like support her, and it was great because it was like amazing how many people showed up for her. Like a lot of people came, but it sucked because I waited for 40 minutes, and then right when I got to the door, they were like, "Sorry, no more people," and I was like, and so then I went to Blue Bottle, which I love, and I was very sad to find out that Blue Bottle is owned by Nestle, which I did not know. Honestly, sometimes happy Sunday, yay, yay, yay! Hello, everyone. Yeah, sometimes honestly it's like sad to like understand or sometimes it's overwhelming trying to keep track of all the like evil companies that own other companies. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to keep track of that. So yeah, it's sometimes hard to keep track. And I did not know. I love Blue Bottle. Like their lattes are amazing. Their espresso is amazing. I didn't know that they were owned by Nestle. So I ended up going to Blue Bottle and then posting that on Instagram. And everyone was like, you know, that's owned by Nestle, right? Yeah, it is hard because like, honestly, at the end of the day, I think we talked about this before when it came to like YouTube being owned by Google and selling technology to the Israeli regime, or Twitch being owned by Jeff Bezos. It's honestly hard because it's like, they're all owned by evil pieces of shit. You know what I mean? So it's like hard. Like, what do you use? But I definitely think that there are some worse than others. I did download the No Thanks app, but when I put in, I think that's only for the Israeli regime. And I don't, as far as I understand, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that the issue with Nestle is that they're in the Israeli regime. It's that they're abusive to their workers and they steal resources from all over the world, including a lot of places in Africa. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Good to see you, Gabby. Welcome. Yes. Old Boney Bird and Johan are our amazing mods. So shout out to you guys. Who participated did anybody participate in the boycott yesterday? The global boycott of corporations, since we're talking about evil corporations? There was a boycott yesterday. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Wait, is Nestle on the BDS list? Yes, awesome Friday. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it. It really annoyed me. The Vanguard boys were shitting on people who were participating in that boycott. I was like, that's so fucked up. Like making fun of them. And when I just commented, like they were being so fucking rude. Like it just really annoyed me. And then I commented, like, you know, you shouldn't shit on people for wanting to be, you know, get introduced to boycotts, because a lot of people do not know how boycotts work. They're not comfortable or used to boycotting. It can be really difficult. It can be confusing. So even doing like a day boycott is not a bad thing, especially to introduce newbies who are not really that used to engaging in like a long-term boycott, right? But instead of that, they just made fun of people who were participating in it. And then when I commented on it, they were all rude and were like, I don't even remember what they said. I would have to look again. But they said something rude. And I was like, well, that's kind of fucking annoying. But again, I think it's because they're just trying to like, they were being dicks, but they didn't say anything to Francesca, of course, because they love Francesca. And so do I. I love Francesca. And she participated in the boycott as well. So yeah, it was just shitty. I'm like, why are you shitting on people that are just like getting introduced to boycotts? Like, yeah, we get that the point is to boycott them overall, but not everybody is, you know, used to this. Yeah, exactly. They did play a huge role. What they were shitting on was that it was only a day. And it's like, yeah, it's only a day, because not everybody goes from not boycotting at all to participating in the BDS list. Yeah, it was shitty. I did not like it. I do not like that kind of I don't know. I thought it was shitty, but honestly, I'm not surprised. I bet it was the short-haired one. Because he's like honestly like has like a lot of and I'm not saying this to be like too much of a dick, because like I said, I feel like when you're on the left, you need to have a short memory and be easy and quick to forgive, because people are going to piss you off. And the left is never going to build power or never going to build coalitions if we're constantly making enemies out of each other. So like, I still like them. I'm still going to like, you know, support their channel, whatever. But like, I noticed that like specifically the one with the short hair of Silly and Billy. And I'm sorry, I always fucking forget his name. He has a lot of white man tendencies. Like it's giving, that's why I bet he was the one who wrote the tweet. I don't know who is behind the tweet, but he does a lot of like obnoxious white guy shit. You know what I mean? Like a lot of like entitlement, a lot of judgment, a lot of acting like he fucking knows everything, constantly patting himself on the back. Like it's giving you're an entitled white man. White man says, I mean, I'm sorry, it's true. It's true. The overconfidence, like it's giving like white men who worked in finance, bro. I hope he grows out of it. Like, I don't think yes, no, but it is white man tendencies, though. I honestly, I just hope he grows out of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to like people to like cancel him or like, shit on him too much. It's like, but he does like sometimes like people like that need to be corrected. And I hope that he continues to get corrected and grows out of it. Because it's cringe. It's really cringe. That's why I'm assuming he's the one that wrote it. Because you see that a lot with white men, specifically on the left, where they have not deconstructed any of their internalized misogyny or white supremacy. And so even though they're on the left, they still engage in that misogyny and that, I don't know why I said internalized. It's not internalized, it's externalized. They still engage, even though they're on the left, with that white supremacy and with that patriarchy, and they don't even realize that they're doing it. Yeah. Hey, stop describing me. Yeah, but I think it's just that yes, but if you acknowledge it and you're working on it, you know what I mean? Like I always say all the time about myself that like too, like as like there's always things we're deconstructing from, right? So like whether or not it is that you're white and you're trying to work like and understand like how that plays in a culture of white supremacy, or even me as like a genderqueer person, I'm still having to work through a lot of the internalized misogyny that I have because I find myself being very misogynistic toward women. And I have to like constantly be like working on that, deconstructing from evangelical Christianity and a lot of that indoctrination, American empire thinking like, so we all have things we're working on, right? I think it's just a matter of like acknowledging it and continuing to be active in working on it because it is subconscious. Everyone has bias. Everybody has indoctrination. We just need to work on that. And all I was saying was that I hope that he I don't know, is he Billy of Silly and Billy? I hope that Billy continues to acknowledge that and work on that because it's just cringe. Like it's just cringe. A lot of times when you're watching them, and I do watch them and I do support them, he has a very white male, just know it all, like I know everything. I'm right about everything. Everybody should be listening to me. It's just a very white man like lack of I feel like there's just a lack of self-awareness. Like I feel like Silly has a little bit more of a self-awareness. He doesn't do that nearly as much. I feel like it's mostly Billy that is like a little is lacking in the self-awareness department. So hopefully he works on that and grows out of that. Yeah, totally. No, totally. Same. Like um also, I am side-eyeing them though too. I'm definitely side-eyeing them because of the way they treated this whole YouTube thing about me being demonetized. And then pretending like they haven't heard about it, they don't know it, they don't know who I am, they haven't looked into it, even though Francesca has talked about it and Pastor Ben had me on his show and talked about it. And like, so like them pretending that they don't know, and then not saying anything about it, not inviting me to be on their show to talk about it, not calling it out, and standing up for me. Yeah, I'm definitely side-eyeing their asses. But again, I still always say that even though I am side-eyeing them, and even though I do think it's incredibly fucking cringe that they were shitting on people for the boycott, that doesn't mean that I'm saying that I hate them. I'm not telling anyone to cancel them. I'm not saying people on the left shouldn't support them. I'm not saying any of that. You need to have a tendency to be able to forgive quickly and move on when it comes to people on the left because we already have too much infighting. I'm just pointing it out. I'm just saying it's cringe that they did that. Definitely side-eyeing them about the YouTube thing. And I definitely think that Billy in particular needs to work on his white man tendencies a little bit more. Well, you're probably in the wrong chat, Facts About Cats, because Francesca's not an establishment liberal. Like she's not. So if that's how you feel, you're probably in the wrong chat. Francesca, I love Francesca. I think she's great, and I think that you know, I respect the fact that she spoke out about and to TYT regarding the rightward shift that they've had, and I can imagine that that was probably very stressful for her. It's not easy to do shit like that. Oh yeah. Wait. Oh yeah. Saw a video about the 0 day hacks people are pulling on YouTube. What is that? Somebody has it out for me, YouTube. True. True. And I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. There's like a bunch of people they did it to. They just did it to a guy um who speaks out about Palestine a lot. He had made a video about Hamas and they demonetized him. Wait, what are you referring to though, Theater? What is this? I saw a video about the 0 day hacks. Told someone to tell someone to. Yeah, what are you referring to? Do you have inside knowledge I don't know about? Right, and, like, you need to be okay with the fact that not every single person on the left is going to share the exact same, like, strategy as you and, you know, every single, like like, Francesca probably is in a place where she is more willing to fuck with the Democrats than I am at this point, but that doesn't mean that you abandon people like that. Like, she's not a shit lib. She's not like a like, "Oh, anything the liberals do is great." Like, that's not the kind of, like, person she is. So I feel like it's disingenuous to, like, talk about her like that. You have to go into the code directly. Really? See, this is why I want an investigation, folks. This is why I want an investigation. Ah. Yeah, honestly, it would not surprise me because this is the second time that they did it to me. It wasn't the first time they did it to me. They did it to me last July. So, or June. Yeah, so this is why I want a investigation, folks, into YouTube. This is why I want an investigation from the FTC and I want a hearing on Capitol Hill. I want an investigation and I want a hearing on Capitol Hill. Everybody should be filing an FTC complaint. Everyone should be filing an FTC complaint for that exact reason. Hold on, I want to pull that up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm about to kick out facts about cats because they're just trolling. They're being super annoying, and I'm like not in the mood. There's some days where I can deal with a troll, and then some days where I'm just like really not in the mood. I'm thinking that, oh, that's what I was looking for. You know what happens, you guys? I go on Twitter and I see something and I get distracted. What I wanted to show you guys was this FTC thing. Okay. So did you though? Okay, so on February 26th, he wrote, "Today I issued a memo that directs my staff to a excuse me, to a historic FTC Joint Task Labor Force. Um, wait, no, this is not the one I was looking for. Sorry. Here we go. He said, Big tech censorship is not just un American, it is potentially illegal. The FTC wants your help to investigate these potential violations of the law. We are asking for public submissions from anyone who has been a victim of tech censorship, banning, this is the key part, banning, demonetization, shadow banning, etc. For employees of tech firms, for employees of tech platforms, or from anyone else who can shed light on these practices and ways in which they violate the law. The link below, you'll find a series of questions about tech platform censorship policies. The process is simple. You may also attach pictures and documents so we can better understand what happened. You can submit comments anonymously or under your name, but comments will be made public. If you would like to file a private report with the FTC, instead you can go to reportfraud@ftc.gov and then hit report now. You must file your comment no later than May 21st, 2025. Today's announcement is an important step toward restoring free speech and making sure that Americans no longer suffer under the tyranny of big tech permanently. I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, so you can leave public comments. Okay. Here, go to this link and you can submit public comments about their censorship. And it's going to be open for comment. Oh, do they not let us read other people's? Damn. Okay, so like everybody should be participating in this because they're censoring out the wazoo, okay? So mm, trying to think. Where can you Oh, here it is. Okay. So when you click on that little like link that guy provides, the news event thing, it brings you to this other place. It brings you to this page. Federal Trade Commission launches inquiry into tech censorship. And then you can click public comment right here. And then you can publicly comment here, which again, everybody should, because it's once again for the people in the back. It is not just me or anybody that you might follow on social media that is harmed by their censorship. Everybody is harmed by their censorship. And it's not just censorship for the sake of censorship, it's targeted censorship. Because tell me why YouTube, a ParTube, is still allowing Ethan Decline to monetize doxing people. Okay? Like, tell me why. Tell me why YouTube still is allowing Destiny, or Pestiny, as some are calling him now, and Ethan Decline to monetize people as they dox them. Literally. Yeah, doxing people is supposed to not be allowed. So and also, again, it's not just me that this has happened to. This has happened to so many people. And also, it's not just YouTube. Like, obviously, all of them censor, but like YouTube is doing like specific targeted censorship. And I think that YouTube needs to definitely be held accountable in a very specific way, because not only are they doing targeted censorship, they're also actually like destroying people's whole channels, like in a way that you're not seeing on other platforms. Yeah, they went after him too and demonetized his channel and then took down a bunch of his content and said that he was promoting terrorism. Like, it's a joke. It's a joke. Yarman. If it's against their TOS, there's exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's the selective enforcement that is a joke, because what they do is they let people like Destiny and Ethan Decline get on here and dox people, but then people like, oh shit, somebody reminded me how to say his name. Is it Tag, or me, or Rathbone, or there was another person recently who this happened to. Alon Mizrahi made a video talking about the Hamas deal, and he got permanently demonetized too. So it's clearly targeted censorship, and they are targeting people and permanently demonetizing their channel. Yes, East Angler did get released, thank God. Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, so anyway, they are specifically targeting people. They are specifically targeting people who talk about Palestine. They're selectively enforcing their rules by targeting people who talk about Palestine and permanently demonetizing, not even temporarily demonetizing them, but permanently demonetizing, thus destroying people's entire channels and livelihoods, while allowing people like Ethan Decline to dox people. Okay. So it's bullshit, and they need to be investigated. Everybody should be leaving public comments on this. Anyone can leave a public comment on this. Like, for me, I filed an FTC complaint, and I think every creator should file a specific FTC complaint, right? So like, if you're a creator and this kind of shit's happening to you, or you work at YouTube, and like, this is what I want. I want somebody who works at YouTube to see this, okay? And know what the fuck is going on. And know what time it is, and blow the whistle on this shit, okay? So anyway, yeah, so if you work at YouTube and you know that this is happening, you should be filing an FTC complaint too. Okay. If you're a content creator and this has happened to you at YouTube, you should be filing an FTC complaint. You should be filing one if you work there. Okay. A specific FTC complaint. However, anybody can just leave a public comment. Anyone can just leave a public comment. So you should leave a public comment. In fact, I'm going to link it here. Okay. Oops. Okay. It doesn't work on Twitter though for some reason. Everyone should be leaving public comments. Thank you. Thank you for the cheer, hype man. Thank you for the cheer, hype man. You didn't get a sound, did you? What is your favorite movie that you've watched the past year? Shit, I don't really watch movies. Not anymore, anyway. Let me see. What have I watched? Did I watch a movie this year? Did I? I watched a lot of documentaries. Israelism was really good. I watched a lot of documentaries. I don't know if I watched that many movies. That's hard. I don't even remember all the movies I watched this year. Have you watched Arcane yet? No, I've never even heard of it. What's that? That's hard. I don't know, hype man. I don't know. I'll say I really want to see No Other Land. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I don't even think I watched any movies this year, except for like I agreed to watch Halloween with my husband. If he would like, give me a foot massage while we watched it. Oh, you know what I watched this year that I forgot that I really do love? Um was Emperor's New Groove. You know the Disney movie? It's a good movie. um I've never seen Dune. I've never even seen the first one, let alone the second one. I'm honestly, anytime I see trilogy, I'm like, nah, too much investment. Yeah, I've never even seen Lord of the Rings, guys. Like usually if I see something that's like trilogy like, I'm like, nah. Yeah, so No Other Land, I heard was really good too. It's still in the theater, I think. I think I'm gonna go see it in the theater if it still is next week because I don't really like going to the theater. I don't like theaters, but I do want to support them. I want to support the project. Yay, we have 21 people on Twitch. Still not as many as on YouTube, but we're getting there. We're getting there. You guys know that the last part of this stream will be on Rumble. And I'm going to be on Do Dissidents Rumble show next week. I don't remember. I don't remember what time it is. I'll have to double check with him, but yeah, I'll be on Do Distance show next week. Yeah. Like, I can't stand fucking. No, it's actually 4. I don't know why I said 3. Okay, I can't fucking stand. Oh! So I posted this guy's crying, crying about DEI shit, being like, right wingers are always like, we hate DEI, la 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 la, snowflake, blah blah. But then like they all want like special treatment and snowflake treatment and DEI policies when it comes to so-called anti-Semitism on college campuses. And so they have a Justice Department task force that's going to be investigating alleged anti-Semitism. What happened? Thought you guys hated cancel culture. I thought you guys hated DEI. I thought you guys hated special treatment for minorities. Like you guys hate that. So I pointed this out and this clown blocked me because of course he did. Of course. Also, yeah, they lied about this was a concert. They're like pro-Israeli protest in New York City last night. Look at the crowd. Notice anything? It's like, bro, this wasn't a protest. This was not an organic protest. It was a planned concert. So yeah, and then you see, this is why I can't handle right-wing hacks too. They're so fucking full of shit and they don't even care that they're hypocrites. This bitch, MTG, was like, there should be zero funding for any foreign country or foreign war when the town in America looks like this. And then this guy had written, my family's town looks like this in North Carolina, but you have the you don't you dare tell me I have to continue funding a war in Ukraine when my town looks like this. But they don't have anything to say about the fact that the Trump administration just expedited $4 billion to the Israeli regime. Literally. Why agree? I really love, you guys, when my dogs just make little noises like that. Like those little like stretch noises. They'll be like, meh, meh, meh. It's so cute. It's so cute. Mm-mm. People are a joke. Okay, wait. So I heard that there was drama with Pam Bondi. I saw that she blocked Laura Lu. First of all, I ain't reading all that. Why is it so long? Um, yeah, I don't think that that's allowed. Pam Bondi apparently blocked Laura Loomer, but I don't think that that is allowed because she is a government official. How do you block someone when you're a government official? It's not her personal account, it's her government account. Thank you, old bony bird. Yes, thank you. You can support my work by becoming a patron or on Ko-Fi, any of that. You can, or by donating directly through Venmo or Cash App. But yes, you could also support me, which I very much appreciated, all of you guys who have either sent me money through Cash App and Venmo, and who also have become monthly patrons or monthly Ko-Fi members, because this has obviously like affected me since YouTube permanently demonetized me. So like having people support me that way has been really helpful and I appreciate it. Oh yeah, Richie Torres Richie Torres blocked me on his personal account, not his government account. Oh my gosh, speaking of Zionist hacks, did you guys see that I don't know if you guys saw my video about Andrew Cuomo running for mayor, LOL. I'm going to put that banner there. Wait, so what is this drama? I can't with Andrew Cuomo fucking running for mayor. It's so embarrassing. So Pam Bondi. First of all, I love how though everyone, first of all, people getting mad at what's her name for calling out Pam Bondi when it's like, I'm sorry, but why are we pretending like Pam Bondi wasn't always a hack? Pam Bondi was the attorney general, I'm pretty sure, of Florida while the Jeffrey Epstein thing was happening. So, like, but then MAGA's like, oh my gosh, like, we couldn't have seen this coming. Wait, did you submit a comment to the FTC? Mo? Is that what you were referring to? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I am encouraging people to please submit public comments to the FTC website about YouTube and their targeted censorship. I mean, they're all censorious. It's not just YouTube, but like YouTube is obviously what I'm dealing with right now. But yes, if you guys can, please take a moment. It only takes a minute to like go to FTC, that link that I put in chat, and make a public comment about how, and the public comment should be something to the effect of, yes, YouTube needs to be investigated. They need to be investigated and held accountable for their targeted censorship. And yes, it's definitely not just them that do it. I saw two people that I really like recently get their accounts taken away from Meta, both who were pro-Palestine. Even though it was Mark Zuckerberg and his bad haircut that recently went on Joe Rogan or recently made that video saying that they were going to stop their censorship. Like he acknowledged their censorship and said they were going to stop doing it, but they're still doing it to pro-Palestine accounts. So they're full of shit. They're obviously full of shit. They all do it. TikTok does it. They all do it. But I think that it actually really is important to submit a public comment calling on the FTC to really investigate YouTube and all these big tech platforms for their censorship and their targeted practices of demonetization, their targeted practices of targeting people's accounts and demonetizing them. Because again, today it's us and it's about Palestine, but it's always about something. They're always doing this to someone and it needs to stop. They need to stop getting away with this. Who subbed? Oh, did somebody sub on Twitch? Thank you. Thank you. I still don't even really know what that means or like what that actually does, but thank you so much. How long until Doge shuts down the FTC? Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me because we do all know, right, that this is all a ruse. Like everybody knows that, right? Everybody in chat, we're all on the same page about that. The only reason why Hassan hasn't been totally censored yet, despite the fact that they've been trying to cancel him, Pestany and Ethan Decline have been trying to cancel him, and a lot of right-wingers have been trying to cancel him and Democrats, is because he was already too big. That's the only reason. That is the only reason why he wasn't censored. more is because he was already too big. If he had been a smaller creator, they would have already gotten rid of him. Yes, exactly. This is true too. It's beyond demonetizing because it prevents accounts from getting enough traction to ever even be demonetized and causes the monopoly of certain allowed opinions. Exactly. Correct, correct, correct. That's why it's so damaging. There's so many ways that it is damaging to people. And you shouldn't have to be a huge creator to get protection. Like, what is this? The mafia? Yeah, the only reason why Hassan has not been totally destroyed is because he was already a large creator when they started harassing him. And they are harassing him. And they have tried to get him canceled. But that is the only reason why. That is the reason why it's so damaging that they do this, because they try to destroy people before they can even get big enough to have that happen. All the other pro-Palestine accounts that they have successfully attacked and demonetized have been people under 100,000 followers or subs. And they do that on purpose. They do that on purpose. They don't want those opinions being loudly heard. They don't want for there to be more Hassans. They don't want there to be more people loudly talking about that. That's why they smother it in the crib. But again, that's really toxic because it not only hurts people, it hurts livelihoods. It sends a chilling message to other creators who may want to speak about Palestine or other important matters in our politics. And it scares them, and it sends a chilling message to those people so that they don't talk about it. There are tons of reverberating effects that happen from it. It's not just damaging to the creator that they demonetize, which it is. It's damaging to the body politic. It's damaging to other creators who get scared into thinking, I can't talk about this, otherwise that might happen to me. And then they act as like a mafia, and it becomes this entire monopoly, which it already is a monopoly. Like, these people need to be brought to heel. These companies need to be brought to heel. I hope that this FTC guy aggressively goes after all of them for their censorship. All of them. I hope he goes after all of them. I would love to interview him. Do you think we could get him on the stream? Do you think we could get him on the stream, you guys? I want to interview him. Oh, I was going to say, guys, that's another announcement I wanted to make. Definitely please sub to all my channels, including Twitch, or follow on Twitch. I think sub is different. Sub on YouTube and all that stuff, because I still am, wanting to grow my YouTube, even though I'm not using it as much. Sub to my Rumble if you haven't already, because it'll also be the last part of the stream today is going to be on Rumble only. Yeah, the last part of my stream is going to be on Rumble only. And also, starting in April, I am going to be doing, hopefully, interviews. So I want to start getting recommendations of people that would be cool to interview. And it's not going to be like an interview like I'm a journalist or something. Like, I'm not claiming to be a journalist. It's going to be more like a conversation where, like, well, it's not just going to be an interview. It's going to be like, just also like a conversation, somebody to just talk to. So yes, Ramadan Kareem to everybody who celebrates and observes. Yeah, like a podcast. It doesn't have to be some asshole just wrote, you have no experience interviewing. Says who? Says who? Oh, you mean like all the hacks on corporate media that don't ever actually ask any serious questions? You mean like them? Get out of here. First of all, fuck mainstream media. Their interviewing sucks anyhow. Mine would probably be better. Second of all, you don't have to be a journalist, quote unquote, with like a degree in order to have conversations with people. And it's not even going to be like an interview. It's not going to be like a formal interview, okay? It's not going to be like this is a formal interview. It's going to be like a conversation where I ask them questions and just like a regular conversation. So yes. Also, citizen journalists are better than like journalists who are in mainstream media anyhow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Citizen journalists are better than those in mainstream media. Thank you for the cheer. The bits. Dawn, thank you so much. Oh, look at how cute this is. It's the little dancing saucer. Oh, damn it, we missed it. Okay, I don't know what level 2 means, but it had a little dancing saucer when he gave me the cheers. I do really like that. That is very cute. Okay, and now it's doing this thing. Hold on, I'll share back here again. About to beat your last record. What does that mean? Thank you, Don. Okay, I'm not sure what the last record thing means. Thanks, Mo. See you later. Mhm. Oh, yeah, definitely. I would love to. I would love to. Yes, I'm open to suggestions. I am definitely open to suggestions. And I would love to interview activists. Anyone, if you guys have anybody, you know who I would love to interview? The guy that just got out of jail in Canada. Like, talk to him, interview, talk to, whatever. Sit down with the guy who just got out of jail in Canada. Yves Engler, I think his name is. Yves Engler. Yes. Yes. Record being streamed. Yay. I don't know what that means, but it's great. Do you guys think that we could all-time record shattered? Look at the banner, you guys. Thank you, old Bodie Bird. All-time. What does this mean? New record level 3, 14%. Okay, I'm not sure what that means, but thank you, old Boney Bird. This is great. Oh, I really do like I really do like, I don't know what this means, the 151, 14%, but I do like that Twitch has cute emojis that they use when you make goals. Like when you meet a goal, they have like super cute little things. Super cute things on it that the other ones don't have. Yeah, but Dom, what happens what do the levels mean? This is what I don't understand. You need 2K more bits or 4 more subs to reach level 4. But what happens at level 4? Like, what do the levels mean? Yes. Yes, I will. I know. I want to make it so that it does it every time somebody does something, but I can't figure out how to fucking do it. It's like my favorite thing.
In this room, there is a list. This list, in Arabic, this list says we are in an operation.
I like how he says, I like how he says, says. One more time.
In this room, there is a list. This list, in Arabic, this list says.
Oh man, it's so good. Well, I know he's in Canada. I wonder if he would talk to me. Okay, so I'm already making my list. There is a list. There is a list of places that I am going to make of people that I would like to talk to. So we got Yves Engler and Andrew Ferguson from the FTC. Yes. Yes. Hype chest is on the way. What does that mean, guys? Hype chest is on the way. Okay. I don't know what that means. Yeah. All of these Western outlets are mentioning that the Israeli regime is blocking aid to Gaza, but none of them are mentioning that it's a war crime. Okay. Blocking aid is a war crime, and none of our media outlets are reporting that. They're just saying, oh, they're blocking the aid. Yeah, you might want to mention that. You might want to mention the fact that it's a fucking war crime. I hate our media so much. Like, I really do. Everybody should despise our media. Oh my gosh, did you guys see? First of all, the Democrats are so fucking done. They're so done. This is all you have. Did you guys see that embarrassing Hakeem Jeffries? That's a cute emoji. The embarrassing Hakeem Jeffries fucking I got this emote. That's really cute. Choo choo. Did you guys see that Hakeem Jeffries video where he's like basically defending like their draconian immigration? It's so embarrassing. Yeah, okay, then I'll stop. I feel like people are getting thrown by the fact that I'm saying interview. It doesn't have to be an interview. I just like a stream, a podcast. No, I know, right? They absolutely love losing. They really do. They really do. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna put. He's like, they need to send a list of what they did last week. First of all, this is such Karen shit. They all have to send a list of what they did last week. That's what I meant to say earlier. I got distracted. We all are aware that this is a what do you call it? A ruse, right? The whole Doge thing is a total ruse. It's just meant to distract you from the fact that they're about to give massive tax cuts for the rich that are going to add to the debt and are not paid for. That's why they're doing this whole routine, this whole, oh, we're cutting spending and we're cutting blah, blah. We're getting rid of the administrative state, man. The reason why they're doing that, they're trying to distract you with that, is because they want to make it look like they're actually doing something worthwhile. They want to make it look like they're actually doing something productive and that they're cutting spending so that you won't notice when they pass $4 trillion in tax cuts for the rich. What is this? The Epstein files? Just like a bunch of redactions? Like, what is this? Right, that too. Destroying the agencies investigating his companies. That true. Basically, it serves two purposes, so that these agencies can't investigate these people, can't investigate Elon Musk companies, and also can't investigate banks and other people that screw the American people over. That's why they want to get rid of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They don't want people being able to investigate big banks for screwing over regular Americans. Same thing with the IRS. The reason why they're doing that to the IRS is because they don't want them going after rich tax cheats. And all of this is a ruse to distract people and stop them from investigating the actual corruption and the screwing of the American people. But they're also doing it because they do want to distract the American people and make them think that they are cutting spending so that they can pass this massive tax cut for the rich and corporations and make it seem like it's paid for. And even though it's not, it's going to add $4 trillion to the debt. Because think about it, guys. If they actually cared about getting the debt down, why would they just not say, let's stop funding the tax cuts for the rich? Let's not pass that bill. That bill is going to expire. They want to reauthorize it. They really wanted to get rid of all this waste, fraud, and abuse in government spending. Why aren't they saying, okay, we're going to just not pass that tax cut for the rich? We're not going to pass it, because it adds $4.5 trillion to the deficit and it's not paid for. We're going to just not pass that and that will help. No, of course they're not. They're not doing any of that. They want to extend it so they can give massive tax cuts for the rich. And also, you'll notice that they're not cutting the Pentagon. You really want to talk about cutting waste? If you really want to talk about cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, why wouldn't you cut the Pentagon budget? Yeah, curious that they're not touching that. Curious. And the reason why they're demonizing the federal employees is because they don't want you looking, they don't want you looking at who your real enemies are. And your real enemies are the corporations and the billionaire class. Those are your real enemies. But they don't want you looking at those enemies. So, they direct your anger and your hatred toward random federal employees. They're going to cut Medicaid. They're going to cut Medicare. They're going to cut Social Security. And then they turn around and go, oh, look at all this waste, fraud, and abuse that we're finding. But we're not going to cut the Pentagon. And we're going to extend a massive tax cut for the rich and corporations that puts $4.5 trillion more into the debt. Those things. Don't look over there. Don't look there. Don't look at the tax cuts for the rich. Don't look at the Pentagon and the fact that we're not doing shit about the Pentagon that has failed an audit 7 times in a row and lost like billions and billions of dollars. Don't look at them. Let's cut Medicaid instead. And let's focus all of our ire on USAID, which is less than 1% of the federal budget. Please. Yeah, not to mention all the money that they're not to mention all the investigations that they're stopping. They're stopping all the investigations into all of Elon Musk's companies and the companies, banks like Wells Fargo, banks like Chase, allowing them to do whatever they want. It's frustrating that it still works on people. Like the old billionaire switcheroo where they just like basically tell everyone not to look at the billionaire taking all their money in the corporations, but to instead look at some random federal employee or look at a fucking immigrant. Like it still works on people. And it's so frustrating that people have not gotten wise to that. Did you see Sam Cedar on Piers? I think I saw a clip of it on Twitter. I think I saw like a clip of it. Because that guy is so unbearable. What is his name? Benny Johnson, he's such a fraud. Because you'll notice that whenever it comes to things like, yeah, you'll notice that I think that I saw the part where we can watch a little bit of it. The part where Sam Cedar said, "Okay, Benny Johnson, then call on your lawmakers to pass a ban on lobbying." And of course, he didn't say anything. Yeah, he didn't say anything about that. Because the Republicans, again, and this is something that drives me fucking crazy that way too many people fall for. Way too many people fall for. They go, yeah, the Republicans will pretend to be anti-establishment. They pretend to be against lobbyists. They pretend to be against big pharma. But then when you actually tell them to do something about it, they're like, new phone, who dis? Like, so Benny Johnson is going on and on and on in that clip being like, yeah, fuck lobbyists. I'm with you. I'm anti-establishment. But then when Sam Cedar's like, okay, all right, so you're going to call on me to ban lobbyists then? He's like, gone. It's just so embarrassing. Okay, but we definitely should watch it. Hold on. Where did it go? Wait. Okay. That's great. Why isn't it? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. What do you condemn Hamas?
You know, I'm so glad you asked me about this. All the Twitter trolls and the keyboard warriors.
Just this woman's such a clown.
My name means loved by God.
This is so fucking cringe.
You know, I'm so glad you asked me about this. All the Twitter
in this because it's running, as you say, riot on social.
First of all, yeah, first of all, Jillian Michaels is such a hack. She's such a hack. She's such a loser. So she used to be on The Biggest Loser and basically made a bunch of money doing that and exploiting obese people. and then did a bunch of scams like selling bullshit diet pills and fucking health books and shit. She's a health guru grifter. And then now that that's not making her any money because we have Ozempic, and she tried to do the Ozempic hate train. She tried to do the I hate Ozempic routine, and that did not fly because people love Ozempic, and also because doing the whole, if you're fat, it's just your fault and nothing else contributes to that. You just need to diet and exercise, all outdated. No one was buying her 90s diet advice anymore. Nobody wanted her shitty 90s diet advice or her 2003 fat shaming. So yeah, she decided that she needed to start a new career as a right-wing grifter. And again, the reason why she went to the right is because that is where the fucking money is. It's super simple. If you are only interested in making a lot of money, you do not go into left-wing politics. Like, you just don't. That's not where the money is. You go to the right wing where they have endless amounts of cash. Okay? So, so yeah. So she's a hack, and now she's doing the right-wing grift. In case, I'm just letting people know that that's who she is. For those of you who are like, who is she and where did she come from? Yeah. And she's a TERF, by the way. Okay. So she's gay, but she's a TERF. So just because you're gay doesn't mean you can't be a TERF. Well, that's because you have a heart, oh bony bird. You have a heart. And people with a heart know that, you know, a lot of bad shit is coming to poor and working class people in this country, as if it's not already bad enough. It's already bad here. They're about to just make it worse. Because that's the thing. Greed is endless. You know, when you are a greedy motherfucker, like there is no end to that. The income inequality in this country is already so fucking out of control, but it's not enough. The income inequality in this country is already so out of control. The poverty in this country is already so out of control. The suffering in this country is sort of out of control. The rich already have all the fucking money, already have all the tax cuts that they could ever spend in 50 lifetimes. But it's never enough. It's never enough. They want more and more and more and more and more. Yes, this is what we need. It is what we need. And because they're not, unless and until we fight for these kinds of basic rights, we need a digital bill of rights in the 21st century where we're living, and we need an economic bill of rights. And until people understand that those are the things that we really need and we fight for that, they are going to keep pushing for more and more. They're going to keep doing it. It does not fucking matter how bad the income inequality is in this country. It does not matter how the rich could never spend all the money that they've already fucking looted from the working class. They're going to keep pushing for more and more and more, because with greed, it is never enough. Okay. Yeah, so I just want to, because we all know that Betty Johnson is a right-wing grifter, troll, MAGA influencer who also just like, you know, like all the other ones. But some people didn't know who Jillian Michael was. So I will always take the opportunity to remind everybody that she is a fucking grifter, scam artist who made a ton of money off exploiting people's issues with their weight and health, and had a scam diet pill, and hurt a lot of people, and then stopped being able to do the grift because nobody wanted to buy into her 90s and early 2000s diet scams. And so now she's doing this.
Social media is that she's obviously seen what is going to be released later in the day. And she says it's truly shocking and that she expects criminal charges to follow.
LOL, it's truly shocking. And then nothing came out. You guys, nothing came out. They're talking about the Epstein files. They're like, and it was truly shocking. And then nothing happened. Nothing came out. It wasn't it was a literal nothing burger. Okay. Remember nothing burgers? It was a literal nothing burger. And it's coming out. Criminal charges are going to be filed. Then when everybody realized it was a nothing burger, they're like, most transparent administration in history. And then when everybody realized that it was in fact just actually a nothing burger, she goes, oh, SDNY has it, guys. SDNY has it. So they're like, SDNY better have it on my desk tomorrow. SDNY better have these files on my desk by tomorrow or else. Tomorrow came and went. Nothing happened. Yeah, the whole thing is bullshit. They're so full of shit. All right, hold on. I got to pee.
And so that's, I think, a really bombshell development in this. And you know, it goes to the accountability, as you say. But getting back to the Tates for a minute, Benny. I mean, you know, I've interviewed Andrew Tate 4 times now. I think I've interviewed Tristan once. They've always emphatically protested their innocence. But, you know, the normal justice process, I mean, we talk about the Epstein and the fact that there's been no accountability, no proper process here. Does it sit easily with you, given what you just said about the Epstein case, that you've got 2 guys who're facing very serious charges of sex trafficking, rape, and so on, who will now very likely never return to Romania or the UK to actually face any accountability for that? I'm not suggesting for a moment they're guilty of the charges. That would have been determined by a court of law, but we won't get to that stage now. Do you feel comfortable with that?
Well, I mean, based on my reading of the voluminous news reports about what's going on in Romania, these charges have been thrown out. And so, and they've looked at the files and there's nothing in them. And so that.
Of course, this guy, who is a conservative Christian, of course, is defending sex trafficking, of course. Oh, I'm sorry. Alleged sex traffickers. Okay. All right, sorry. We're gonna move this party into the kitchen so I can make my smoothie. You know what? I really hate when it gets so cold in my apartment, but this happens often because when you live in New York, a lot of times you don't have control over your own heat. The building does. And when you're cold and you're like, geez, guys, I really need you guys to turn the heat on. It's really cold in here. Their response is go fuck yourself. Okay, so
that's up for a Romanian court to decide. I don't speak Romanian. All I have is news reports. So they were set free by the jurisdictions in Romania where these charges were brought.
Well, they've not been set. They've been allowed to fly. Slightly different. And the UK, where they face other serious allegations. Some of the conservative politicians here, led by Robert Jenrick, who recently ran to be leader of the Conservative Party, have been very scathing about this and think that the Americans
make me a smoothie. Okay, so yeah, the reason why I make smoothies, even though, like, honestly, I don't like them very much, is because they are the easiest way to take all my supplements. Like if I have to take a bunch of supplements, rather than having to just take them all, like in water, I can just put all of them in the smoothie, so then I don't really have to taste it, You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Should send the Tates back to the UK to face justice. So I think it's a pretty messy situation. If DeSantis throws them out of Florida, for example, and the UK is demanding extradition of them to face what they see as justice here in the UK for the charges against them here, it could get very messy.
It could get very messy. It was very messy for Prince Andrew of the royal family, who had to pay a untold amount of millions to Virginia Giuffre, who was sex trafficked to him via Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
So I want justice for all people who attack and who abuse children, period. And I want these court cases to be brought and proven out.
Reminding me,
on Prince
Andrew.
Andrew.
It's a meme right now, Piers. Where it's like, are you going to be upset if somebody that you like is on the Epstein list? And the answer for me is no.
Right.
that these
I
people
agree.
need to be charged and need to face justice. And that's why I'm so thankful that you had Alina Habba on your program.
LOL. And the problem is with these clowns, you guys, is that they don't actually want justice for all the victims of the Epstein list. They want partisan justice. Yeah, like what, like we don't know. Like they want partisan justice. They don't want for everybody to be outed, you know? They don't. They want to protect the Israeli regime and anybody associated with it. So let's just be real about that, okay? Let's speed this up a little.
Yeah.
And just like I asked Pam Bondi 4 days ago about the Epstein list, and we were the first show to actually ask her about that list. And she says, it's on my desk, and there are volumes in this list. And apparently, according to Senator Marsha Blackburn, this is just volume 1 of the Epstein list. Jeffrey Epstein had his islands and his mansions in Manhattan and his ranches in New Mexico wired for sound. The FBI went and raided. Talk about files of evidence. Let's talk about files of evidence. The FBI went and raided.
Volume 1, that's so cringe. Like, what is this, a book series? What do you mean volume 1 all sexy? Just put them all online, bitch. Just put them all online now. What do you mean volume 1? Like cringe as fuck.
These compounds and got terabytes of hard drives. Some of those hard drives were marked by Jeffrey Epstein himself, not by federal agencies, as insurance policies and evidence. What are they? Why haven't we seen them? Why has the FBI been holding on to those? And been holding on to those presumably to protect terrorists.
Okay.
Who's actually in charge?
Yeah,
Who
I mean,
can tell the FBI what to do? So these are the cases.
I agree. It's huge. No, it's huge.
Obviously,
it has always been ridiculous to me that the only person who's been actually held to account for Epstein, because of course he killed himself or otherwise, he died in a prison cell. A lot of speculation about what may have really happened then. But the only person who's actually gone to prison as a result of it was Ghislaine Maxwell, who was his kind of madame and former girlfriend. In relation,
do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I don't think anybody knows for sure.
From a 5 foot tall.
No, listen, I agree. The whole thing was very suspicious.
All the lights turned off.
No, I totally understand why conspiracies. I totally understand why theories have run right about it. Who knows? We may never know. It's certainly very suspicious. But
somebody knows, Piers.
Oh yeah, sure. The point I was going to make about Prince Andrew. On Prince Andrew, I'm obliged to say this, but obviously he made no admission when he made his settlement with Virginia Giuffre. He paid it's reported $11 million. It's a very strange thing to do if you did nothing wrong, but it's clear, to be clear, he hasn't made any admission of any guilt about this. And let me move to Sam Cedar here. So there's 2 big things happening, both in similar territory here. One, the Tates coming to America and therefore will no longer, it seems, face any court accountability for the charges against them, either in Romania or the UK if they stay in the United States. But DeSantis wanting to not have them there. What do you make of that, first of all?
I mean, I don't make much of it one way or another. I mean, this is a guy who's been celebrated in right-wing circles, and I don't have enough information to know whether he is guilty of what he's been accused of doing. But to the extent that I'm even aware of who the guy is, it's because he's been featured for so many years in right-wing talk shows and feeded in those circles. So, it sounds like DeSantis is mad at somebody, and it's quite a coincidence that with Donald Trump in office, that these guys show up on our shore. But I guess time will tell.
And what about Epstein?
I'm pretty sure that they did interact.
I'm interested in finding out what's in those files. Would love to have a review.
I am pretty sure that they coordinated with the Trump administration. Somebody can fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure they did.
Visit of Donald Trump's first labor secretary, who made the initial deal with Epstein back in 2008 as Attorney General of Florida, talking about Alexander Acosta. I'm curious about that nexus, to be honest with you. It's really unclear to me how Epstein got such a sweetheart deal from that guy Acosta, and why that wasn't held against him by Trump when he appointed him labor secretary. But maybe we'll get some answers if these documents and information is released.
Okay, Gillian, I will come to you for your reaction to those two stories. Just going to take a couple of minutes to talk to Steve Hilton, who's joined us.
And we care why? Why do we give? I mean, this is the other thing about Jillian Michaels, okay? I'm amazed how right-wing influencers come out of nowhere and all of a sudden they're all over the place. Who gives a fuck about what Jillian Michaels, the diet pill scammer, has to say about what's going on with Jeffrey Epstein? They just come out of nowhere and all of a sudden they're making millions. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Fox News contributor and David Cameron's former advisor. So great you found time for us. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Just specifically on Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of obviously my great country and yours, they're at the White House today. The big talking point is clearly going to be Ukraine. What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I think the fact that Keir Starmer has made his announcements about increasing defense spending, stepping up in the way that Donald Trump wanted the Europeans to do. That was the whole point of the Trump argument, which is to say, you Europeans need to step up. Keir Starmer has done that. And so that's a positive beginning to the conversation, if you like. I've got some concerns really about the relationship between these two. You and I both know the president well, and he's very much a relationship kind of guy. I don't know Keir Starmer personally, but looking at him, he's not on its face the kind of individual that I think President Trump is likely to establish a warm rapport with. Frankly, it seems to me he's a kind of pompous, uninteresting mediocrity, not the kind of person that Donald Trump is going to immediately warm to. So I don't know how the relationship is going to go, but on the substance, I think it's promising.
I think Starmer's played a trump card, for want of a better phrase, by when they were talking to the press just now. He revealed he's got a letter from the King Charles, which he's given to Trump, which will doubtless be very positive. And Trump, as we know, is a sucker for the British royals. His mother, who was born in Scotland, was a massive fan of the royals. And Trump once told me he remembered watching, his mother waxing lyrical about the royal family. She'd actually watched the coronation of the Queen back in the 50s, etc. So I think that playing the royal card's a smart move.
Who announced that they're going to run for president?
Yes, and I think that, I don't know whether he had a hand in it, but the new ambassador to the US, Peter Mandelson, very smart operator, whatever you think of his politics. And I think his role in all of this, I think, is only going to be positive because he really does understand how to get things done on this kind of international level, has good relationships in Washington, and I think can really help smooth things along. So I think that is a net plus for the UK in making this whole thing work.
I want to watch the Hakeem Jeffries clip I was telling you about because I want to make fun of how, first of all, the Democrats are such fucking hacks and losers that nothing is ever specific. Nothing is ever specific. It's always like Hakeem Jeffries, who's like an NPC. All he does is go, we're going to work hard and fight hard for working families to make working families' lives better. How? We're just going to make their lives better. How? Like, it's never fucking specific with this doll, this NPC doll.
This breaking news story about the Tate brothers being allowed to travel from Romania to Florida and Governor DeSantis reacting very negatively to that. What do you make of this?
Well, I think the whole thing is bizarre. I think that Ron DeSantis, is someone who regularly wants to assert his independence from Donald Trump, his independence from what you might broadly call the MAGA movement. And I think he's just, laying his claim to that. I think we need to understand a little bit more about how it happened so quickly and what's behind all of that. But as you've been discussing, I mean, this is a very, very popular character, but in many ways a really unsavory one. And so this is not something that anyone, I think, should be celebrating, but we'll have to see how the process plays out.
Yeah, and as things stand, he and his brother are innocent until proven guilty. The controversy about it is that they're likely to never face any courtroom now, either in Romania or the UK, where all these allegations have come from. And that's what is grating with people. Robert Jenrick, who's a leading member of the Conservative Party in the UK, has come out very angry about this, demanding that the Americans basically send them back to the UK. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I don't exactly, and I don't think that anyone is going to want to expend political capital on this. That's the other aspect of it. I think it's just one of these things that, once it's happened.
No, this was such like just a signal to be like, hey, I love creeps and sex cats. Because what was the point of this? Like, genuine, like, what was the point of this? Like, no one needs this. No one wants this. No one needs this. So, like, going out of your way to do this, it's like, and for what? Why? It's just so unnecessary. But I guess I do think it's funny that Donald Trump ran on keeping predators and all that out of the country and then imports them
It's hard to see anyone here in America really fighting to kind of reverse it. DeSantis unhappy because it's Florida involved, of course, but I don't see that that's going to change anything in the fundamental point that you're rightly making, which is, we can't actually establish, to everybody's satisfaction, the truth of all of this until there's an actual legal process that's playing out, and it's not going to play out, it seems.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how. I mean, the interesting thing there will be, did the White House put pressure on the Romanians to allow them to fly? That has been emphatically denied by Alina Habert, who's the counselor to the president, who was on one of my other guests today, Benny Johnson's show last month, talking to Andrew Tate in a very favourable way. She says there's nothing to do with her, but it will be interesting if it turns out the White House did put pressure on them, how that plays out for the administration. Steve, great to have you on. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Good to be with you, Piers. Thanks.
All the best. Oh, back to the panel. Let me talk to Gillian Michaels. Gillian, these two breaking stories, and they're different, but they're connected as well. They both involve allegations of sex trafficking. Epstein's case, clear, proven evidence of that. What do you make, first of all, the Tates? Do you have a view about them?
The Epstein tapes, I don't think we'll ever get. I don't think we'll ever get the full story. I think we deserve it. I would love to know. I'm hopeful, but not optimistic, if you will. Like, I just don't see it happening because I think it will be so freaking scandalous. I absolutely think he was killed, and I think it's ridiculous to think that he killed himself, given all of the evidence we have on this. And when it comes to the Tate brothers, I would love for them to see their day in court. I think it's necessary. I personally find them to be despicable characters. Anybody who casually throws around the words faggot and tranny, I can do without. I've lived under DeSantis' governance. I enjoyed it quite immensely. He has a pretty squeaky clean reputation. He's a dad. He loves his wife. There are no scandals surrounding this guy. And you can understand why he wouldn't want these two guys in his state or allow Florida to be dragged into what could become a controversy if, in fact, the White House pressured Romania to let these guys over to the United States.
I think that is going to be the key question, and we'll have to see whether that was the case or not.
Yeah.
Benny, let's turn to the big picture of why the British Prime Minister is in America at the White House with Donald Trump. So far, their exchanges have been very cordial. I've been watching a bit of it. His young team of guys with their sabers got into it. They found this stuff, right, and told people.
They didn't find it. They just they publicized it.
Well, exactly.
And the first thing they did was to fire all those inspector generals and not replace them. A. B. Audits that lead to firings within a couple of days are obviously not being done. The notion that this is about efficiency when you're laying off thousands of IRS agents, when it is well known that every dollar spent at the IRS returns for the government $6 or $7, you're clearly not talking about efficiency here as measured in any other way other than allowing wealthy people to get away with cheating on their taxes. I mean, I could go on, but there's absolutely no evidence that there's a single audit going on. To the extent that they've saved any money, it has been largely dismissed as clerical errors on their part, and we still have no substantiation about it. So it's
that's not true. I mean,
that's a good point. What audit? This government efficiency, what audit? Yes, that's such a good point, Cispian. He did. I know. It's amazing.
Some of the stuff that came out about USA, for example, some of the way that American taxpayers' money was being squandered.
Such a clown shit thing to say from Pierce, but do you condemn Hamas Morgan? Because he's like, some of the way American taxpayer thing is getting things on trans, whatever. He's just mad because he's obsessed with wokeness and like trans issues. Like in a way that is so like Boomer Marins. Because tell me why you're fucking pressed about USAID's 1% budget, but not the Pentagon's. Get the fuck out of here.
On ridiculous projects.
Oh, wait a second.
And it wasn't insignificant sums of money.
Wait a second. You can determine that you can have an opinion that it's squandered. I can have an opinion that it's squandered, but it's been appropriated by the Congress. And in America, we have actually both statutory, constitutional, and court cases that say the president of the United States and the executive branch cannot decide unilaterally that they're not going to appropriate money that Congress has appropriated. I mean, the line item veto has been found to be unconstitutional. We have the Impoundment Control Act from 1974. We have Train v. New York City from 1974, which is a Supreme Court case which enforces that. What they're doing is fundamentally illegal. I mean, you may think that some of the spending is not worthy. I may think it's not worthy, but that's just not the way our government works.
Okay, Gillian, you were shaking your head there.
They don't care.
Because it doesn't seem that the government is working. As a layman, when the USAID is exposed in the fashion that it has been, and all of a sudden we have this transparency that we've never.
This transparency. First of all, I love how she goes, well, because the government isn't working. So you think that because the government isn't working, which everybody agrees that it's not, of course, everybody, no one is like, yay. Everybody agrees that it's not. So you think that's okay to just break the law? Because Congress appropriating that money is the fucking law. Like they literally passed that through fucking Congress. If they don't like that, they need to pass another bill. But she's like, hey man, it's like not working. So we can just cancel it, man. I don't know who told her that going into politics or political commentary was a good idea. But yeah, this is the brilliant take, folks. Talking about some, oh, well, they're squandering the money. Did this bitch say anything about all the money that we've been giving to the Israeli regime? Did this bitch say anything about all the money that we give to the Pentagon or nah? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Never had in my
None
lifetime.
of this stuff was hidden at all.
I just love that she says transparency as if it's not transparent. They're not doing an audit. Literally, they have not done any audits. They fired the inspector generals. They're trying to gut the CFPB, which literally does investigations of fraud. That's what it is. It investigates fraud. And they haven't posted any. They posted screenshots from Twitter online. That's your transparency king.
Was hidden at all. It's just
so you're telling me that the average American knew that we were funding friggin' operas for trans people in who knows where? I mean,
you think that because the average American didn't know that that's okay? The average American doesn't know a lot of shit. That doesn't mean that you get to just take money already appropriated by Congress. What a fucking idiot.
Nobody knew this.
USAID was
supporting
You really believe that?
Yes,
you really believe that people knew this and this was common knowledge? And there's no question that some of this was a slush fund for the CIA.
Well, actually, that's not the fucking point. Some of it was a slush fund for the CIA. That's really not the fucking point. Talk about moving the
the truth is you can both be right here. Right? Yes. Sam is right that it was there to be found, and Gillian's right that absolutely nobody told the American people about the specifics. So actually you can both be right.
What can happen in our process of government?
No, I understand. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying it wasn't there. I'm not saying it wasn't there to be found. But Benny, it was only when Elon Musk and his young team of guys with their sabers got into it, they found this stuff, right, and told people.
They didn't find it. They just they publicized it.
Well, exactly. But that's how the that's how the American.
The way that these people bootlick to the powerful is so pathetic. And this embarrassing Betty Johnson guy with his snow cone hair is like getting aroused by it. Like, look at how excited he is. Like, all this rich guy bootlicking is just so fucking pathetic. It's also unfair to have always more conservatives on the panel because Pierce, but do you condemn Hamas Morgan, is a right-winger, and he's pretending to be a neutral arbiter, and he's not. So really, it's 3 against 1. It's the 3 of these right-wingers against Sam.
Have authority.
That's how the American people found out about
authority to cut it. Yes. So Congress, Republicans control every house of Congress. They control the presidency. They could pass a bill tomorrow saying, we don't want to fund these things. But what's happening when they cut USAID is you've got literally 400,000
That's the other thing. Why don't they just pass a bill? They're in control of Congress right now. Thank you, Oboni Bird. They're in control of Congress right now. Why don't they just pass a bill if they want it so bad?
Meals for children who are technically wasting away. It's in Africa. Maybe my guests don't care about that. But the fact is that they're sitting in warehouses in Rhode Island and in Georgia right now, food that is pre-digested practically because these kids are starving and it's sitting in warehouses. It's going bad and they have no way to ship it because USAID has been shut down.
All right, Benny.
I'm sorry. Benny? That's not constitutional or legal.
Okay, Benny.
It's incredible. So I've heard the Constitution thrown around a lot here. All right, let's talk about Article 2 of the Constitution. The executive branch has a clause called the vesting clause. The vesting clause makes one single man that is elected by the whole American people.
You know what gets on my nerves about clowns like Betty Johnson specifically in this thing is that he keeps smiling and talking as though he did something. You didn't do anything. You didn't prove anything. You didn't make any good points. Yeah, I know, right? As if they represent them. No, but like, he keeps acting like really confident as if he did shit. You didn't do anything. You didn't make any points. You didn't own anyone. So, like, why are you there with this shit-eating grin being like, he has like that, gotcha, shit-eating grin. It's like, you didn't get anything.
The only position in the federal government that has the entire whole of the country elect him is the President of the United States, who is vested with the power to oversee the executive. And that includes congressional spending. That includes the functionaries of the government, including the commander-in-chief. There are appointed judges. There are elected at state and local levels, members of Congress, but only the president is elected by the whole American people. Now, I have a giant map in my studio. I don't know if your production team can pop me. There it is. This is what America decided in 2020.
How embarrassing. He has the map that's mostly land. It's so embarrassing. Conservatives love to do this, where they'll show a map of the US with it mostly red like that without pointing out that most people live in concentrated areas. What's wrong, Shaken? You want to go away? My dog was acting a little sus. Without ever pointing out that what they're looking at is mostly land. Like, most people live on the coast. Okay. It's so embarrassing.
24. In a landslide and with the popular vote, the whole of the American people decided to vest a single man, Donald Trump, to hunt down waste, fraud, and abuse. Because while maybe there's...
I love how they always talk about it like these are huge mandates when actually most Americans are fucking disengaged and don't fucking vote at all. Landslide. First of all, it wasn't a landslide. It was like 50-49. But second of all, they always leave out the fact that there are like 100 million Americans that don't fucking vote at all. Yeah, all these authoritarian, you're right. They want a king. They're fucking authoritarian. It's like amazing.
Some type of programs that you might view as just. What I view as just is feeding the American people. What I view as just is filling the potholes, educating, healthcare, and the capacity to
What I feel is just is feeding the American people. And as he rightly points out, you guys are cutting food stamps. Feeding the American people? You hoes are cutting food stamps. This is what I need. I need for no one to ever let them get away with that shit. You hear this line a lot. I'm interested in feeding the American people. And you hear, I'm interested in fixing things at home. You hear that a lot. Why are we spending money overseas when we could be spending this at home? You mean to tax cuts for the rich and corporations. You don't give a fuck about feeding Americans. That's why you're cutting SNAP. And you want to cut Social Security so grandma eats cat food. Social Security keeps old people out of fucking poverty and out of them having to eat at food banks. And they want to cut Social Security and they're going to cut SNAP. And you want to talk about feeding the American people? You are so full of shit. They are so full of shit. Every fucking conservative is so fucking full of shit. They don't give a fuck about feeding the American people. They don't give a fuck about it at all. That's why you always hear them say, we got to fix things at home. Okay. Let's fund SNAP so kids can eat and elderly people can eat. Let's fund Social Security. No, fuck them. Fuck them poor kids. It's like that meme where the kid's like, the guy's like, the meme where he's like, we need the food here at home. And the little kid is like, I'm starving. And he's like, fuck off. Like, it's literally that.
Americans. And so what America voted for was America first. And transgender operas in Chile isn't exactly America first. And to
You've
say that
spoken a lot.
USAID
You've
was
said a
simply
lot of words, but you've said nothing. You
was
haven't addressed the actual
They really
Constitution, the
think that
Supreme
those
Court
lines are
cases, the
bangers.
Donald Trump
Impoundment
has
Control Act. None of that.
has-
You can say that you don't
Donald
think it's
Trump, as the head
right
of the
to
government,
feed starving children
the
in
right
Africa. That's your
to determine
prerogative.
how
Can we
federal
address
money
the
is
starving
spent.
children?
Donald Trump, I can't
it
believe you're
does.
going with the
I'm sorry,
starving
it does.
children. You're going with the
Oh,
starving
yeah,
children.
no, it does. I mean, it does other things that you don't
All
like.
right, let me.
But it
Okay,
also does this.
That was
and it
USAID.
is
allow the lady in the.
So this clown thinks that he just had a banger because they love to do that. They love to obfuscate how this funding affects Americans, like this kind of stuff affects Americans, like Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare and SNAP. And they go, what do you want to do? Use all of our money to fund trans operas in Chile? As if that's where the majority of the money is going. But you can tell that this loser, Benny Johnson, thinks that he is really, really nailing it. He thinks that all these are, he thinks he has banger after banger. And then here comes Jillian Jillian Diet Pills Michaels, to tell you her to do her banger. She thinks that she's got some bangers here too coming. And she
The room to
Was there
speak,
more
please.
USAID money spent?
Chat,
Was there
let
more
Jillian,
USAID
let Jillian
money
have a say.
on feeding starving children or
Guys,
food in
let,
Ukraine in
guys, let
2020?
Jillian speak for a moment. Jillian.
Big fan of
The
children.
feeding starving children thing is such a freaking red herring. So first of all, the vast majority of
How
this
so?
USAID bloat and corruption does not go to that. Second of all, we have children starving here in
denying that
America.
some
But
of it
third
that's
of all,
being
and what you
cut
don't know and what you have not looked into.
see how she's like, it's such a freaking red herring. Because first of all, we have starving children here in America. I bet if you ask Jillian Michaels if she's in favor of cutting SNAP, she'll say yes. She'll say yes. And Social Security and Medicare. So, yeah.
Okay, is that read a book. It's called Save 3 Lives, and it's by the Rodale family. And it has to do with the fact that our big ag companies went into the developed world to addict their soil to our GMO crops. It's a money laundering game. They can grow their crops in their soil far more efficiently and did for thousands of years before ConAgra and Cargill and Monsanto and AD.
Oh, now you're concerned about our crops. I know this guy. I know. I want to punch him in the face. Figuratively. Don't sue me. Figuratively, not literally. Like his stupid face is like he thinks that he's nailing it. Like, this is what I love. This goes back to what we were talking about. The overconfidence of mediocre white men, okay? This Delulu clown sitting there thinking that he's fucking nailing it. You're not doing shit, and neither is she, because she thinks that if she throws around a lot of fucking buzzwords and how she really cares about, GMO crops, that changes anything. She keeps trying to change the subject. He's like, it's really bad to like starve kids. And she's like, oh yeah? What about the GMO crops? Would you take it and do something crazy to it? Did you? If you were on the last stream on Thursday, you'll know what I'm referencing. Did you? But she's like trying to change the subject as if this has anything to do with starving kids.
Went in. You just don't know that because you haven't done your homework. So you're like, oh, there's children starving in Africa. When really, it is about.
You haven't done your homework. Again, you think you're fucking saying something. You're not saying anything. She's not saying anything. Him talking about children starving in Africa, that is less than 1% of our budget, right? What the fuck does that have to do with your fucking book? Okay. What the fuck does that have to do with your fucking book, with your fucking, Monsanto crops and SNAP and starving children that here at home that you don't give a fuck about? Literally, anytime a conservative ever fucking says, we have starving kids here at home. We need to keep our money at home. Ask them if they're okay with cutting SNAP and Social Security. And when they say yes, not if, because it's when, they always want to cut those things, say, then you don't give a fuck about that. Stop using hungry Americans as an excuse for the fact that you don't want to fund these programs when you don't give a fuck about starving Americans. Okay? Okay?
Billions of dollars going to big ag. That's what that's really about. And I've seen it firsthand when I went to South Sudan and stayed at a refugee camp. So don't play your starving children card. I can't.
Don't play starving children card. I can't. I saw it firsthand. Did you? Did you? What is your little sob story about how you went to South Sudan and supposedly did charity work have to do with what Santa Cedar is saying? I know. I need that soundboard. I know. Eventually, we'll get there. We'll get there. I don't have the money for that right now. And also, I don't even know what kind to get. We'll get there, though. Did you? Least. Yeah, she's such a hack. And she thinks she's nailing it.
Well, listen, it's not my card. It's just simply the reality. And the fascinating thing
about your card, though. Your game is like nobody's empathetic because children are starving.
We are talking about
USAID.
USAID.
Benny Johnson is such a little bitch. Look at him. Again, with that shit-eating grin because he thinks he's nailing it and she thinks she's nailing it. It's just, there's something. Yes. Did you? Did you? There is something so grating to me when people who suck think that they're badass or think that they're making a good point. That's very grating to me. Like, look at him. He's like, yes. No.
Is a percentage point, like literally less than 1% of the U.S. budget. But because there is this attitude amongst the, well, frankly, it's not just the USAID. I don't like them cutting the IRS. I don't like them cutting the EPA. I don't like them cutting Labor Department. I don't like them cutting the National Labor Relations Board. I don't like them cutting the FDA.
Do you like the level of debt your country's in?
I don't think it's as much of a problem as you do. But here we know the debt shot off like a rocket with the Bush tax cuts.
That's literally as if that's addressing it. I mean, no, you guys can have your opinions on that, but I totally disagree. I think that the whole don't go on their shows, deplatform them, ignore them, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked. All it's done is empowered the right and given the right a monopoly on the media. So yeah, no, I don't agree.
And then with the Trump tax cuts, and they want to extend those. And so if we want to deal with the debt, and if that's a genuine concern, we can go back to the time in this country where we had the greatest economic expansion during the 50s and the 60s, when we had a top tax marginal rate of 90% of every dollar that would be earned over $470,000. Today, it would be $3 million. And if these...
Exactly. And none of them care because they don't actually agree with it. Exactly. I mean... I get why people think that. They think that it's empowering them, but they're already empowered. Like, I just don't. Who did I hear the other day that was saying that? That was like, oh, you just have to like, not talk to them or something like that. Oh, I think it was on TikTok. It was the TikTok live. But I was like, to me, this is just like liberals and even a lot of people on the left not learning the lessons. Because this was already tried. The left and liberals already tried canceling people, deplatforming them, ignoring them, not going on their shows. And what did that do? The right wing absolutely fucking dominates the media space, online, everywhere. And it didn't do anything. It didn't help. All it did, the countries moved to the right. So yeah, that worked.
These guys are very concerned about the debt and deficit. We have a way of raising that money. We can go back to the greatest.
Which again, they don't actually care, because if they did, then yes, they wouldn't be trying to, they wouldn't be doing any of that. They wouldn't be doing any of that. They wouldn't be focusing on USAID. They'd be focusing on the Pentagon and tax cuts for the rich. That's what they would be focusing on. They'd be focusing on tax cuts for the rich and the Pentagon, but they don't because they don't actually give a fuck about the debt. Okay. That's what everybody needs to understand. This is all a ruse. They don't actually give a fuck about the debt or the deficit. They just do this because they want to distract you while they cut everything that matters to you, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, SNAP, or anything that helps poor working people so that they can give it to the billionaire class. That's all, folks.
Economic time of this country. So if that's genuinely their concern, we have that power to do it. I mean, we're not spending, as a function of GDP, we're not spending significantly more per capita than we were in those years. The problem is that we don't have the revenue. There's been huge tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires and presided over by two Republican administrations over the past 20 years.
Okay, Benny, on that point, respond.
Years, I love it. I love it. This is my favorite argument I've ever heard on your show. I love it. Go to the American people. Sam, I beg of you, join the DNC, run for DNC chair. I'll do anything, okay? I want your ideas to be the ideas that Democrats bring to the midterms and to the 2028 election. More IRS agents. Raise taxes to 90% of wages. I love it, Sam.
No,
how do I get you in the
wages,
chair,
90%.
No, see, but this is how typical of Republican and conservative. He just lies. He says more IRS agents without acknowledging what Sam said about the reason why more IRS agents were put there was to collect taxes on rich tax cheats. We don't need more IRS agents for regular people because regular people are usually wage earners and their taxes are taken automatically. The people you need the IRS agents for are the people who get to file their taxes themselves and are really rich. That's who. But he lies. He goes, more IRS agents just to tax regular people. And then he lies again. Sam Cedar specifically said taxes on wealth above $3 million. A wealth tax on wealth above $3 million. Do you know how many people actually have $3 million in the country? How many people actually really have $3 million of wealth in the country? No. But of course, this guy lies and says, raise taxes to 90%. Like generally, statement. So Sam Cedar is very specific. He says on wealth above 3 million. And he goes, oh, you just want to raise taxes on everyone to 90%. No, you just made that up. You just lied. You just lied. You just made that up. They're such liars. They're such liars. It's insane.
How do I do
every
it?
dollar?
How do I do it?
And again,
Where can I donate?
She's laughing like she thinks that he just nailed it. Like all he did was just fucking lie. And Jillian Michaels is like, get him, King. You got him, King. No, he didn't. He didn't. He just lied. Oh my gosh. They're so fucking cringe.
Just send the money to the
it's the
director.
greatest argument ever. You're right, Sam.
Taxing millionaires and billionaires actually does quite well in terms of polling. And when Americans see what wealth disparity looks like in this country today, when they actually see the wealth disparity,
we've seen
it's
wealth
quite
disparity.
popular.
It looks like a federal government that's $37 trillion in debt, spending money on total bullshit.
You don't know what wealth disparity means.
And
yeah, no, seriously, he doesn't. But notice how, you know how earlier, guys, I said it was a ruse to distract you when they talk about the federal agencies so that you don't look at the actual enemy, the billionaires and the rich. He just did it again. This is what I was talking about earlier. He just did it again. Instead of actually looking at the people that are responsible for this economic mess, which is corporations and the billionaire class, he says, look at the federal workers.
and absolute and total fraud. Hey, Sam, why don't you ask? Why don't you answer?
You can Google it and find out what it means.
Hey, Sam, why don't you answer a quick question? Why are the richest counties in all of America the 5 major counties in the DMV right around Washington, D.C.?
Because all the lobbyists work there, and the military-industrial complex people live there, and the politicians who enrich themselves through personal stock buybacks work there. So that's why. But you'll notice he's not interested in that. He's not interested in that. Again, he thinks he's nailing it, but he's just revealing again what a fucking fraud and a hack he is. I know they all think that they're doing all these banger gotchas, and you're not. Oh yeah, why do you think all the people at DC are rich?
Hey, can you explain to me, what do those counties do? Are there some mineral deposits there I don't know about? Did they strike oil? Is there some type of rich industry that's created around Washington? Maybe you can answer me that question. Why are those people so filthy rich? You don't seem to like rich people, so maybe explain why.
I can answer that question.
What does DC?
You want me to answer it,
Sam?
It's lobbyists. It's lobbyists, like all of the ones that have been appointed to Donald Trump's cabinet and to political positions. Rich lobbyists for all sorts of these industries that you supposedly have a problem with. I mean, that's where all the money is being made. It's not being made by federal workers. It's being made by lobbyists. And those are sent by corporations. If you will join me as part of my campaign that you're interested in me running the Democratic Party, in calling for Donald Trump to fire all of the lobbyists he's hired so far, it wouldn't leave many people left in the government. But if you'll join me with that, we can start to chip away at that problem you have with the counties around DC.
We've just got some breaking news from this Keir Starmer Donald Trump encounter at the White House. In the Oval Office, Trump invited J.D. Vance to expand on his criticism of the UK for its free speech issues and alleged infringements in recent times. And he said, sitting opposite to Keir Starmer, we have a special relationship with the UK and our European friends, but there have been infringements on free speech issues. And
now you'll notice he doesn't say anything else. You guys notice that? He didn't say anything else. He thought he was all cute with his gotcha. He thought he was all cute with his gotcha. Can you answer me this, Sam? Why are all the people in the richest counties near DC? And Sam answers and goes, because they're lobbyists. Lobbyists for big industries, the very corporations you're claiming to have a problem with. So do you want to join me in calling on banning lobbyists? And then he's quiet. No, it's so funny. It's so funny. He thinks that he's fucking nailing it, and he thinks that he's got a gotcha. Yeah, exactly. You changed the subject. So he thinks that he's nailing it. He thinks that he's rules, and he's like, "Oh yeah, what do you think about all the lobbyists, huh?" And Sam's like, or all the rich counties, like, yeah, they're lobbyists. Do you want to join me in calling on banning lobbyists? And then he's like, Homer in the bushes. Okay? He's literally Homer in the bushes. Because again, it's just he's just a fucking hack. He's just a fucking hack. So he's like, yeah, ready for my gotcha? You ready for my gotcha? And then Sam's like, well, you could call on banning lobbyists, right? Do you want to join me? And you'll notice he doesn't join him. He doesn't say anything about banning lobbyists. He doesn't say anything about banning lobbyists. It's Homer in the fucking bushes as soon as he says that. Just like the fact that none of them call on banning lawmakers from being able to trade individual stocks. They never have anything to say about that either. Yeah, and then Piers bails him out. Piers Morgan bails him out. He's like, let's get to this speech thing here. I know we asked an uncomfortable question here. So, yeah, let's talk about something else. No, it's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, so it's that time of the stream where I will be switching over to Rumble. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on here. We'll finish making fun of this, and we'll watch the part with what is his name? George something. Thank you, Obody Bird. George, what is his name? What is that guy's name? George something. Galloway. Thank you. George Galloway. We'll watch the rest of it on Rumble with George Galloway. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm going to do a 10-minute interval, which I forgot to make. And then we'll go on Rumble and we'll finish watching it there. And if you join me on Rumble, remember that you can send the equivalent of super chats on Rumble called Rumble Rants, which helps the channel grow and will help me grow my channel over there. So thank you, everybody, for joining. And I'll see those of you who want to join me on Rumble for the rest of this after 10 minutes. All right. Love you guys. Free Palestine. Yes, join the Discord. Woo! Join the Discord.